In India's Maharashtra, there's a surgery that thousands of women have agreed to, not because they were sick, but because their work schedule demanded it. It's called a hysterectomy. It removes the uterus permanently. And women in Beed district are getting it done in their 30s before harvest season, so they don't lose a single work day to their period. This is not a conspiracy theory, it was confirmed by a Maharashtra government report. It has been covered by the New York Times, the Guardian and the Indian Express, and most people in this country still have no idea that it is happening. Maharashtra produces roughly 1/3 of all the sugar in India. That sugar ends up in your cola, your biscuits, your mithai. The people cutting that cane are seasonal migrant workers, mostly women and their husbands, who travel from drought-hit districts like Beed every year between September and March. Here's how the pay system works, and this is the part that changes everything. They are not paid by the hour, they are not paid by the day, they are paid as a couple, a husband and wife pair, based on how many tons of cane they cut together. No cane cut, no money. And sitting in a field bleeding through cloth, because there are no toilets, no clean water, no sanitation facilities anywhere near these farms. That is lost income. Now you understand the pressure. In 2019, the Maharashtra government commissioned an official survey. Out of 82,309 women sugarcane workers in Beed district, 13,861 had undergone hysterectomies. That's nearly 17% of the workforce. The national average for India, 3.2%. In a separate sample of 200 women from the same area, the rate was 36%, 14 times the national average. But here's the thing people don't realize about that 13,000 number. It comes from data collected over the years leading up to 2019. It is not a snapshot of today. And in the late 2024, just before the most recent harvest season, an official health department report found that 843 women from Beed had undergone hysterectomies in a matter of weeks. Many of them were between 30 and 35 years old. 843 women in one pre-migration window, in one district, in one season. 13,000 is not the scale of the problem. It is the baseline from the past. The real number today is almost certainly far higher, and we simply are not counting. I want to be careful here because this is where the story gets complicated. Nobody is dragging women into operating theatres. What is happening is something harder to prosecute and harder to explain. It's called economic coercion, and it works like this. A woman starts experiencing painful periods, heavy bleeding. In the city, she might see a gynecologist who recommends rest, iron supplements, maybe a simple scan. In a sugarcane field with no toilet and a contractor watching the clock, her option is lose income or fix the problem permanently. She goes to one of the 120 odd private clinics in Beed district. The doctor tells her the uterus is damaged, that cancer is possible, that the surgery will not only cure her, it will also free her from the monthly problem so she can work for more hours alongside her husband. One woman told researchers, doctors warned us that if we don't remove the uterus, it could damage the kidneys or lead to cancer. The contractor offers a loan, the loan pays for the surgery, now she owes the contractor money, she signs. What looks like consent in this situation is actually a transaction written in desperation. When your choice is between your body and your family's survival, your body becomes negotiable. A hysterectomy is not a minor procedure, it is major, irreversible surgery, and the medical consequences for a woman in her 30s are documented and serious. Mayo Clinic research confirms women aged 35 and younger who undergo hysterectomy face significantly increased long-term risks of cardiovascular diseases. Studies have found they are more likely to develop high cholesterol, high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat and heart disease, even when the ovaries are kept. When the ovaries are removed, which often happens alongside hysterectomy, in these cases, the woman is thrown into early menopause immediately, which accelerates one loss and osteoporosis. One large-scale study found that hysterectomized women more than double the risk of developing osteoporosis compared to women who didn't have the surgery. These women cut sugarcane in their 30s to earn a living. They will spend their 50s and 60s with damaged hearts and crumbling bones, still in poverty, now also chronically ill. The surgery doesn't solve their financial problem, it just delays their physical collapse. Let's talk about who benefits from this system. The contractors. They get uninterrupted labor, no sick days, no gaps in productivity. They also collect interest on loans they gave to fund the surgery. The private clinics. There are around 120 private hospitals in Beed district. Advocates have raised serious concern that many of these institutions rely heavily on performing hysterectomies on vulnerable women, charging fees that, by these families' standards, are enormous. The sugar companies. Maharashtra sugar goes to major brands. After a New York Times investigation in 2024, Coca-Cola publicly said it was deeply troubled by the situation and is committed to looking into it. PepsiCo also confirmed buying sugar from Maharashtra. Women or advocates say the problem persists. And here is the question nobody wants to answer. If the sugar companies know, if the government knows, if the clinics knows, if the contractors know, what exactly would it take to stop it? The 2019 government report made recommendations: mandatory reproductive health checkups, regulated procedures, health camps before and after migration season. Some of that has happened, none of it has been enough because the fundamental architecture is unchanged. There is still no guaranteed sick pay for the menstruation or illness. There is still no caps on contractor debt. There is still no meaningful oversight and what private clinics are advising. There is still no law that says you cannot lose wages because your body is functioning normally. Until those things change, the pressure on women's bodies will not change. The sugarcane will keep growing, the debt will keep compounding, and somewhere in a field in Beed, a woman will keep doing the math and deciding that the cheapest solution is to remove a part of herself. 13,000 is not just a number. It is a warning that we have been ignoring for years, and the longer we ignore it, the higher that number climbs. If you learned something from this video, share it. Not for the algorithm, because these women exist whether or not this video gets views. Sources are linked in the description. Everything I have told you today has been independently verified. Subscribe if you want more of these kind of reporting. And if you are in Maharashtra or you work in labor rights or you know someone in the sugarcane industry, reach out. Because stories like this only change when enough people refuse to look away.